All right, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to episode 21 of the podcast.
What's good, what's good, what's good?
Today we're going to be talking about whether routine is a good thing or rather not. So
Yeah, basically just the pros and cons of a routine. Like what's good about it, what's not, why you should have one, reasons to and reasons not to, you know?
Exactly. So my standpoint with routine is I prefer to take life more spontaneously. Like, I wake up in the morning, I have no schedule. Like, I know what needs to be done that day, but I prefer to just kind of let life coast me a little bit, but I have some construction around it.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I would just start with the observation that, like, people who are, like, open, like, people who are really into art, like, people who, like, have a, like, broad, diverse music taste, like, people who just love ideas, like, it's going to be harder for them to have a schedule. Like, I think me and you are similar in that regard. So, like, when you say you kind of let life coast you along a little bit, I feel the exact same way. Like, it is honestly hard for me to stick to a schedule. Like,
it's hard.
'Cause, like, every time I write a list, like, right before I go to bed, I'll, like, make a list of, like, a to-do list for the next day of shit. Like, okay, so I'm going to wake up, and then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. How many times have I done it all the way through? Not a single one. I've never done it all the way through once.
So I think I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I honestly do.
But at the same time, like, I think that kind of structure is important. Like, I think routine is really, really good for just about everyone. It's the most effective way to get things done. Like, if you're doing things on a regular, like, time interval on a regular basis, like, I think that's when you start seeing the most progress. Like, I think of something like the gym. Like, you're not going to start seeing progress that is satisfactory unless you actually have, like, some sort of unless you're going some sort exactly.
So, like, I mean, I'm right there with you. Like, I have never been able to follow a set schedule. Like, as hard as I want to, because I know that
it's fucking hard.
I know how many, like, millionaires, billionaires follow a routine. So I'm like, all right, I gotta try to train myself.
Right.
There's also so many billionaires and millionaires that have paved their own way so that they did it with intention, so that they wouldn't have to have, like, a schedule where they could be financially free, so they can live that life. So that's kind of what I'm going for. But I feel like a routine is perfect for someone that has school every day. Has school every day, has work every day, something that they have to do.
Like, at the same time.
Yeah, like, that takes up a big chunk of your day that you can work around. So, like, school from 8 to 3, that's perfect. You can work around that. Like, you can work out before, you can work out after. Like, it's perfect to set a routine. I think it ultimately comes down to the person as you are. Like, you and I are more, like, spontaneous, like, I don't even know another word for it, spontaneous, and we just kind of, like, go with the
It's
flow.
just hard for us to follow routines.
Yeah, very, very. And I could only imagine how many other people have that same problem.
I'm sure there's a lot of people. I'd go out on a limb and say that a lot of people that listen to this are kind of in the same boat almost.
Yeah, definitely.
I would also say that, like when I make a to-do list or, like, a list of things I have to do, like, it's not, I don't really set times to that. Even if I do,
or
I know
order. I don't really ever go in order either.
Yeah, and even if I do set times, like, I don't ever follow them. It's like, I think it's important to have, like, to write things out, not as, like, a set routine, because following routines is hard. Like, a schedule is super rigid. Like, you can't do what you want when you want.
And
like,
there's no room for unexpected, like, life shit.
Right.
If you set times, like, that, there's unexpected shit every day.
Exactly. Like, your car breaks down, you can throw your routine out the window because you're not doing it.
There it goes. Or just your grandma calls you and ends up talking to you for 30 minutes. Like, you can't.
Exactly.
There's so much shit that can go into play with that. So, like, what I do, I think is what you were getting to as well. You just kind of write down what you really need to get done, like your urgent shit, and then you just get to it. And then, so, like, in my room I have a whiteboard that says urgent and not urgent.
Right.
Just as, like, a reminder to do this shit. So, like, I'm not putting a bunch of pressure on myself because I just know. I just know I need to do it. And I think that it takes so much pressure off me when I know what I have to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, dude, I completely agree. I think it's important to have, like, a schedule and have, like, something that kind of resembles a routine. But I think what you do is perfect because on one hand you know what you have to do, but on the other hand, like, you're not forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do when you don't want to do them. Because, like, you can't tell yourself what to do. Like, just try to boss yourself around. It's not going to work. Like,
because there's that second voice in your head that's going to try to rebel against everything.
Exactly. There's the part of you that's like, all right, got to do this right now. Like, got to sit down, grind for 5 hours.
There's the part of you where you're just like,
yeah, and then there's the part of you that you get 15 minutes into it, and then you start scrolling through Twitter, or you like go on YouTube or something.
Dude,
like,
it's so crazy. Like I was like battling my subconscious the other day. Like I was like, don't think about that, and like my subconscious would like throw it in there. I'm like, why are you thinking? Like, it got to the point where it was funny. I'm like, it is crazy how there's literally like your subconscious is not you. Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I'm like, dude, why would I throw this shit at myself? Like,
this
thing is not me. It's funny to laugh at it, honestly.
Right. I mean, just kind of going off that, like, that's like is what blows my mind. Like, in my opinion, about just like the human experience is because like you have the part of you which is your conscience. Like, you're a conscious observer, but like your mind is constantly like talking to you. But you're not doing the talking. Yeah. Like, so your mind is telling you things like all the time. And I think a mistake that a lot of people kind of make, I mean, not to get off topic here, but I think it's a good place to go. I think like people start to identify those thoughts as themselves.
They label themselves.
Yeah. They think like they have like a neurotic thought like, oh, this person doesn't like me. And then that spirals off into a bunch of other thoughts that really are saying the same thing just in a different way. And they've already kind of laid the groundwork down for being stuck in a position where they actually think that, even though it's not particularly true.
Yeah, like depression, perfect example. Like, people will have bad thoughts for an extended amount of time, and they label themselves as someone who has depression. And then when you label yourself, it just almost like traps you in this box. You're like, I'm depressed. I can't help it. I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you label yourself, you almost prohibit any chance of not being.
Dude, I think you are literally spot on. Like, there's a serious danger in identifying like with certain things. Like, if you got it into your head that you're like a socially anxious person, and you are just like sitting here in a room like, damn, like I am like the most socially inept person on the planet. Like, when you like go out and actually socialize with people, like, those thoughts are going to be what prevails in that situation, and you actually will be like that. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Once you label yourself as someone who's, I have social anxiety, okay, guess what? You're going to have it.
Yeah, even if you didn't, you just created it for yourself.
Literally, until you tell yourself that you don't convincingly, then you're going to have it.
Right.
Then that mean voice in the back of your head is going to be like shadowing over you while you're in like the bar or something, and you just be like, oh, I can't talk to them. I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
I can't. It's crazy, bro. That voice that just wants...
I think a lot of people experience that voice. I know I definitely experience it like this, but I like, it's not like just talking to me. It's like critiquing me. Like, it's really critical. Wow. Like, I tend to be like, I mean, just me personally, I tend to be harsh on myself, and like when I'm harsh on myself and I don't like it and I can't get out of that loop, like, I start to be harsh to others because that's just an extension of what my own thoughts are telling me.
I feel like that is a prime example of like why bullies are a thing. Like, bullies beat the fuck out of themselves. They're insecure, and then they take it out on other people. Because I feel like someone who is completely content with oneself will never throw negativity at someone.
Yeah, I mean, the only exception to that is like sociopaths and psychopaths.
Literally,
like,
that are just trying to fuck with your head.
Yeah. I mean, unless a person is like clinically has one of those conditions, if they're doing something to you, it's because they feel some type of way about themselves.
Exactly. You're never gonna get negative, non-constructive criticism from someone doing better than you mentally, financially. Like, it's just people like who are doing good will never go out of their way to make someone not do good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, but I would also distinguish that there's a fine line between that. Like, someone that is making triple your salary, like, might have a much worse life than you. Like, it doesn't, like, like, material possessions aren't everything. Like, everything comes down, like, to the mind. Like, you have people that live the most blessed lives, but just have such a hard time getting out of bed in the morning because of what's going on in their mind.
Think about, like, the celebrities that have, like, killed themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, holy shit. Social media making it seem like everyone has such a great life.
Right.
And then, like, someone could literally be rotting away in their bed.
Right.
And we'd have no idea.
Like, take Robin Williams, for example.
Perfect example.
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say his life was easy because everyone's life is hard, but like, he could have wiped his tears away with his money if he wanted to.
But that just goes to show you that money is not everything.
Exactly. That goes to show that like, it can't buy happiness. Like, as cliche as that sounds.
No, that's like a huge debate. Can money buy happiness?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there's definitely, I can see both sides of the spectrum. Like, well, money can buy you a jet ski. When have you ever not been smiling on a jet ski?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, if someone is completely, like...
When have you not been smiling on a jet ski?
Literally.
I've never heard that. That's funny.
Dude, like, because every time you're on a jet ski, you are fucking living it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right.
Enjoying that shit.
You're right.
But if someone who is, like, seriously not at peace with themselves hops on a jet ski, yeah, they'll have momentary happiness.
Right.
But the moment they step off that jet ski, it's no matter how much money they have, like you have everything you need is within yourself, and some people just can't find it.
Yeah. And
I believe everybody will. It's just a waiting game if you haven't found it yet.
Right. I've heard I try to listen to the smartest people I can find on YouTube, and what they always say is that once you have enough money so that like you can pay your bills and like you can eat regularly.
Yourself.
Exactly. Once you have enough money to like live a relatively comfortable life, like making more money doesn't make you any happier.
Yeah, like it just stresses you out, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm at this weird point in my life where like I'm making money where I can just like I don't really have to put so much effort in, but I'm obviously on my own ass because I have high expectations for myself just to keep elevating. But if I wanted to, I could literally just say, fuck it, I'm cool here, you know. But like, obviously, I'm not gonna do that because I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
So I have so much fucking time to do that. But I feel like the goal is financial freedom, not like to have money you can wipe your ass with.
Yeah.
You know, like to just be able to do whatever you want whenever you want.
I think the golden point within kind of what you just said is that yes, like you're kind of like at a point that you could just like throw in the towel and be like, all right, if I just keep making this much for the next 10 years, like I can do what I want when I want to do it, which is fine. But it just shows like your motivation for wanting more. It's not about the money because you know that as you get more money, it's not going to make you any happier. I think that's a useful thing for people to understand is that the people who make tons of money, like the people like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, like they're not like sitting in their house like scheming ways to get money. Like they're not greedy people, like not by any stretch of the imagination. Like they're like regular people like us who happen to be really good at something that happened to make them a lot of money.
Super fucking smart.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, I feel like so many people have it twisted with that side of the spectrum. Like rich people just wasting their money. But I feel like I don't want to be money rich. I want to be experience rich.
Right.
Like when I have money, I tend not to hold on to my money for too long because I want to go do something.
Right. Spend it on experiences.
Yeah. Like moving to Miami, like that's going to be an expensive investment, but it's going to be an insane experience.
Right.
Like
exactly.
that experience I will hold throughout my whole life.
Exactly. It's worth more than the money.
Exactly. And like that ski trip we might go on in December, it's going to be like what? More than half rack, but like
it's it's an investment.
But like we'll remember that forever.
Exactly,
like, it'll be dope as fuck. So if you're watching this, I think you should ask yourself if you're working for money or if you're working for freedom, and then kind of reflect, because working for money, you're just gonna be making someone else rich your whole entire life, and why would you want to do that? It's your life. Like that's why I've never really been able to work for like a job. Like I've worked at fucking 10 restaurants probably, and I could just never enjoy it because I'm making this dude rich. He's giving me $8 an hour, and I'm making this dude money. Yeah. Like, I feel like everyone should look out for their best interests. Find out what makes them unique. What talents do they bring to the table? And if you're good at something, never do it for free. Yeah, facts. Never do it for free. To kind of add on to that, in my own personal experience, I worked as a busser at Biaggi's, and for like I really hated it, and it's not because
it's not because I didn't like my supervisors or I didn't like my coworkers. Like, it's not that I was getting treated badly. Like, it's not that the work was too hard. Like, it wasn't that I wasn't getting paid for what I was doing, because I was. It's the fact that I had to do the same thing over and over again.
Every time.
Like, it was just so monotonous and repetitive. And
it's not really, you're not really benefiting from doing those actions.
Well, I mean, you are in the sense that you're getting paid, but for like, I think for creative people, like, you need to be in a situation where you're doing different things. Like, how am I gonna like exercise my brain and like
brain,
like exercise my creativity by doing the same thing. Exactly. There's no space for me to like branch out and do anything else. And I think this is a good segue to kind of get back to what we were talking about originally, is routines. Is because when you're working as a busser at Biaggi's, that is a routine, and I think me not liking it is a fair argument against routines. But I still think that they're important, because, I mean, think about a place like Biaggi's. Everybody is running a routine that that is like maximized, like, to the fullest. Everything. Exactly. Like, the company would not make money if not every single person was running the exact routine that they needed to do for maximum efficiency.
And exactly, like, routine and like foundations work hand in hand. Like, you can't have a good foundation without people being on their routine, like creating something in unison, making something flow. Like, we need those people.
Yeah. I think even like, kind of to make it even a little bit more abstract, like, I think you're exactly right. Like, a routine, it is the structure, like, it is the foundation. Like that is in some ways your normal that you deviate from whenever you go on a creative tangent. Yeah. Like you need a routine because it keeps you grounded, you know?
Yeah. Like some people are like very structured people.
Yeah.
Like my dad, for example, like, he can't do something unless it's fully mapped out. Like, when we'd go to like a skate park in Kettering, he'd have the maps planned out. He'd have where we're gonna stop planned out. Like, there are some people that are insanely like numbers. Like, they love shit organized. Like, and then there's people like you and I where we're just like, we'll get to it. We'll figure it out. Like, if we get lost, we'll find our way type shit. And then that just goes to show how different everybody is.
Yeah, and I think the catch to it is what your dad was doing isn't wrong.
Yeah, it's not.
Because you really need people like that in the world. Yeah. Like, those are the people that keep the buildings from falling down.
Yeah, like those are the people.
Yeah, those are the people that like keep the water in your house running. Like those people are the reason why you're
that are precise.
Why you're warm in the winter. Like, it's the people that go out and do the same thing like day in and day out. Like, those are the kinds of people that you need. But
definitely.
I mean, you also need the people that don't follow the routines, because they're the ones that drive the change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And that's incredibly important. Like, people that can step outside my mom always tells me, like, you do not fit in any box. Yeah. Like, we've tried every box, and you don't have one. And I'm just like, I am totally okay with that. I will make my own box. Yeah. Like, and I can have other people come join my box if they want. Exactly. But, like, miss me with anybody else's box, because I'm the only me I'll ever be. So, like, fuck a box.
Yeah, I mean, I would even say you are in a bunch of different boxes at the same time.
That's a good way to put
like,
it.
Yeah, but I think to kind of wrap this up, I think a good gist for this episode would be, you really need to take some time, like, maybe meditate, be mindful, think about how you are, think about how you go about things, think about like your thoughts and like what they tend towards, and then you need to figure out how much of a routine would be beneficial to you. Like,
definitely reflect on your own life.
Right. If you're a person that cannot stand routines and you just do things as they come, then maybe what you need is not a strict schedule. Maybe what you need is just a broad to-do list that you can kind of pick out things as they come along.
Definitely.
Maybe you're a person where if you don't have a routine, you can't do anything, and you need a strict routine to be able to get through your days and be as efficient as possible. So, I mean,
whatever makes you more comfortable.
Exactly. It all comes down to the individual.
Ultimately, every human is looking for what can make them the most comfortable.
Exactly. And everyone's different too. So what works for someone else isn't going to work for you. You have to personalize your life to fit you.
Personalize, yeah. So ultimately, take like 10 minutes without your phone. Just sit there and think. Does your life need a routine, or can you get by more than happily just going through the motions? and living life spontaneously.
Mm-hmm.
It ultimately comes down to the person you are, but as you could tell from us, we prefer not to be routines just because that's just how we're built. That's how we're built. Oh, and to mention, Ty was not here today. Ty had surgery, so he had to miss out, but he's in our presence.
Yeah, he's doing great too. He's not in any danger.
Yeah, it was not like
he's alive and well.
He's great.
He's still kicking.
Yeah, he's great. But yeah, that about wraps that one up. Hope you learned something from that, something beneficial that you can implement into your life. And don't forget to subscribe. I should have said that at the beginning, but whatever. Don't forget to like, and you'll be seeing more of us shortly. So have a great rest of your day, evening, and just take it easy.
Hell yeah. Deuces.